Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Profit Minds podcast. My name is Dr. Stephen Kirch, and I'm the creator of the Profit Minds Growth System, a unique blend of profit growth, productivity acceleration, and business process for scale. Every episode, I interview entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world with a unique story to tell. You can find the show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. Today, my guest is Jenny Barron with Coldwell Banker Realty, and we're going to discuss what are important qualities to look for in a realtor. Welcome, Jenny.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you with me. It's kind of unusual because most of my guests are not local to me, but you're basically almost in the same neighborhood, so it's great to talk to somebody that's here local.
Yeah.
So I love to start out with the story of, how did you get started in realty? How did you get started in this business?
Well, I got my license in 2015, but I think I really started to get interested in real estate probably around 2007. My husband and I were looking to purchase our first home. We had our daughter, she's about 6 months old. And we met this realtor and he was showing us a house and we fell in love and we wrote an offer. And luckily we didn't get it accepted.
Luckily?
Yeah, we wrote an offer on a house we couldn't afford.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a really bad experience for us because he was not only a realtor, he was also someone who would do loans at that time. And as we all know, 2007, a lot of shady things were happening.
Oh, yeah.
So, he kind of tried to still go and purchase a home and told us to suck it up for 5 years and buy something we didn't want. And we were not open to that at that time. And I just didn't get a good feeling about it and, just being pushed into something I didn't want to do. So then in 2008, the market changed. Home prices were dropping. There were a lot of foreclosures on the market. And we got pre-approved with a really nice lender and who educated us. And we had a great realtor. She helped us purchase our first home. We remodeled this home and then sold it 2013 for a really nice profit and purchased the home we're in right now. So yeah, that's kind of where we got started with, just buying a home, fixing it, selling it. It's more like more and more investment kind of realtor. So we purchased this home with an in-law unit as well. So we're renting that out. It was a really good investment for us at the time. And the realtor I was working with, she suggested for me to get my license and actually help others to do the same thing. So I got my license in 2015 and joined a real estate team, which I highly recommend for any new realtors out there joining a team, because this is where you learn the most. When we get our license, we don't know anything, really. It's they don't teach you how to write an offer or any of the laws and rules that come with real estate. So yeah, I joined the team. Stayed with the team for about 6 years, decided 2021 it was time for me to move on and starting to grow my own business rather than growing someone else's business. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about the bad experience with the first realtor and the good experience. What made those different, and what is it that people really should look for when they're trying to select? Because, well, here in California, at least, I think like 5% of the population is a licensed realtor. It seems like it's so
yeah,
how do you make that choice? It's such a big decision.
it is. it comes down, who you work with matters, right? I mean, it's just, as I said, I personally had a bad experience, and I also had a very good experience. I mean, I have a lot of realtor friends, and they're all doing a fantastic job. It's just, it doesn't matter how many homes you sell, or, what volume you make, and, what the home prices are. It's really someone who you can trust, because this is going to be one of your biggest purchases in your life, especially on the home buying side, or first-time home buyers. Something that I think people should look for in a realtor is the guidance, someone who truly cares, and educate them through the process. So for me, as an example, if I meet a new buyer and they're first-time home buyers, they don't know anything about real estate the same way I didn't know anything. So it's really going to take them step by step through the process, talking to them what they really want, what their must-haves are, everybody wants a nice house, but, some people just don't have that option. So being realistic with the buyer, show them how the contract works, what's really in it, right? What is important, what is, obviously everything is important, but something to look for. And, understand really how the whole process works. For me personally, it's, it does not end with just getting them in a home or selling a home. It's also, what can I do to help them grow afterwards? I have a client, she almost texts me every week and trying to, oh, do you have a gardener? Do you have a, the other day she said, oh, locksmith, somebody, just little things he needs help with, because she's by herself. She doesn't know anybody in the area. And so she needs really a little bit more guidance, and it doesn't stop with just helping purchasing a home. It continues throughout the years of helping them out and being part of their lives. And I think that makes a good realtor.
Yeah. So what is it that makes you different, again, from all those other realtors that are out there?
Well, as I said, there's a lot of good realtors out there. It used to be in a way where we can, see the difference, and, just preparing a home to sell. And I still see it. And it's sometimes unbelievable what I see when I go show homes, or I go on Progress Tour and preview the homes that just came on the market. And I mean, you're selling a $2 million house, and you didn't bother to clean the windows.
Yeah.
So I still see that, and it's unbelievable to me. But it's just the small things like that, but it can make a big difference for the buyer to come in and actually offering more, because the home was prepared the right way. And as I said, I see it so many times where people just, they just don't know how to prepare a home. And I think that's been something of my biggest strengths right now, is just helping the people to make the right decisions, and, staging the home, getting it cleaned, professional photography, video, and the marketing, obviously, that comes with it. And then not only that, but just negotiate with the other real estate agents, right? Getting feedback from them, just following up. And I think this is a lot of real estate agents don't do that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're busy. The busier you are, the less time you have to do that. And that's what I always said, in the past too. I want to be available for my clients. And I think a good realtor should be available. They shouldn't be making a phone call and getting the assistant who doesn't know half of the stuff that was going on with the home. And it should be someone, answer your phone. And if you can't at that time, just get back. Hey, let me get back to you. I will be calling you in 30 minutes or something like that. And I think that's missing, and in the realtor world sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, do you specialize in any kind of, like you mentioned, first time buyers, you mentioned investment, you mentioned, I mean, is there, are there, and I know a couple of realtors who specialize in, like seniors.
Hmm.
Do you have a specialization? Do you have I'll say a niche or a target market for, who are best clients for you?
I would say I have a few. Obviously, I'm German, so I work actually quite a bit with German German clients as well. I think that helps as well. Purchasing a home in a foreign country is
Hmm.
not easy for some people. I have a client right now, and they're trying to purchase a house, and they just got moved here almost a year ago, and they're ready to make that next move. And it's a little bit different. Real estate is a little bit
Right.
different here than it is in Europe. So I think that's definitely something. I would say it's a specialty out.
Hmm.
Um, and overall, yeah, first time home buyers. As I said, I like to educate. My background is education. Got my a degree in Germany for that. So I think that's probably my niche. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And oh, what are your goals for the future? Where do you want to take this? Where do you want to be? I don't know, say 5 years from now. What?
Well, when I left the team, my goal was at that time to grow as a small team, not too big of a team, because I think, as I said earlier, you just lose your availability to your clients if you grow too fast, too much. So I'm in the process of that. I'm working on getting my broker's license. I'm only a realtor. I'm not a broker, and that will obviously help me to grow a team and get new realtors on board and mentor them, showing them to become, a professional realtor and make the right decisions. That's one of my bigger goals. And then also help others to invest in real estate.
Hmm.
Something I learned, I mean, people trying to figure out this perfect market that does not exist. You just have to really figure out when is a good time. I personally just bought a cabin um, in the fall because the home prices were going down, and I had a really good opportunity to negotiate with the seller, and getting helping well, he helping me bring down points for the loan and things like that. And I think for me it will be a goal to do this for others, for past clients, taking that next step. Hey, this is your home, but how about investing in something else in your future? Because the best investment you can make is obviously real estate. So even though home prices can go down a little bit, but overall we've seen in the last 30 years home prices went up by 4% on a yearly basis in average. So I think you can't make a better investment than that. So that's kind of my goal, um, moving forward, having maybe seminars and trying to guide some of my clients through that next level. Yeah.
Okay. And are there, going back to the topic of selecting a realtor,
Hmm.
are there red flags that people should be aware of, or things that people should watch out for? Or if,
Yeah. I mean, don't, I think you should interview just like you would, you're getting your home remodeled, right? You just don't talk to one contractor, right? You have multiple people come in and give you bids. Um, some I would say the same for a realtor. Interview multiple people, and sometimes you make an instant connection with someone, and sometimes you don't. Not because someone is maybe cheaper than another person and, listing your home for lower percentage doesn't mean they're going to do the job. I think something you really need to look for is, what is this agent going to offer me? Maybe I'm paying 0.5% more in the commission, but I don't have to worry about anything. They're scheduling, my inspections, my repairs, getting the home ready, and if it's just carpet and paint, getting the home staged, photography, everything is included in those packages, I think might be more beneficial than having, some agent come in, oh, I'm doing this 4% less, but not doing it, literally putting a sign in the yard and putting in on the MLS and hope somebody will come and buy it. So, there are some agents like that. So I think there's a good way to interview and ask the right questions. So what are you going to do for me besides lowering your commission? Because that's not always the best case for someone.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit, and I know this will date some of the conversation, but we're in the spring of 2023. We just had a bank failure, which has sent shockwaves throughout the financial markets. Talk a little bit about the current market and what's going on and what are you seeing?
Well, right now, we have very low inventory. We had that last year. Last year was a little bit crazy, almost too crazy for my liking. It was a little intense, and all of a sudden the interest rates went up, and I think people got burned out and a little scared in the fall to move on and purchase a home. And I think that was, for some people, a good opportunity to get in. And then the spring, and I told this a lot to my sellers, thinking about selling, wait until the spring and see what happens. But I can guarantee you home prices will go up again. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now, because we have so many people who want to purchase a home, and not enough inventory. I think there's, right now, last time I checked, I think we have 45 homes for sale in Livermore right now. And that's nothing. That's really, we should have 200. That would be a good market. But right now it's just not. And so it's a really, really good time to sell. I think by the time summer hits, interest rates probably going to go climb again. So it's going to even each other out. And even with I'm not worried about the banks. I think this was a isolated incident.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, but it still sent shockwaves, and there were certainly a couple of weeks where people were
yes, absolutely. And I was first like, oh, but I talked to a couple financial advisors about it as well and just asked their opinion, and they all said the same thing. This is just bad business by the bank, and that's all there is to it, basically. So I think we're going to be fine, but we will see. But I think, by the summertime, it's going to even each other out and more of a mellow market. But it's not going to go down.
She
That's
says,
sure.
Yeah, she says, hopefully it's going to be a more mellow market.
Yeah, I prefer that. It's great for the sellers. It's amazing. For anybody who wants to sell a house, it's their best way to do it right now. For home buyers, it's probably going to be easier in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So one of the things that I do with my guests is I offer an opportunity for a shout out. Some other entrepreneur, small business owner that would be a great guest for my show. Do you have somebody in mind?
Yeah, I do. I have, I know her for a few years now. She's a friend and a client of mine, but she has an interior design studio. And has good information on, what is important to get your home ready, and, not only staging, but like, let's say, just preparing your home. So I think she would be a good asset. Her name is Andrea Jeffrey with the Jeffrey Design Group. And I think she would be a good guest for sure.
Okay, great. And so if people are interested in getting in touch with you, now geographically, I know you're located here in the Tri-Valley of Northern California, but your license, I'm presuming, all over the state of California, and
Yes,
can handle homes
Mm-hmm.
all over the state of California. But if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach you?
So, I have my my email. Do you want me to send?
I'll make sure it's in the show notes, but email is the best way.
Actually, phone call. I like to personally talk to people. But if they're interested in selling a home or looking for a realtor, they can check out my website. It's basically jennybarron.com.
Okay.
And there's a lot of information on there. As I said, I'm licensed for all California. That's not where I sell. I mean, just the Tri-Valley area is mostly where I focus on. But I have relationships with so many other realtors who work the exact same way I do. So I like to refer out as well if it's a little bit farther out of my area. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So, and that concludes our show for today.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to our guest, Jenny Barron of Coldwell Banker Realty. I hope you learned something about choosing a realtor. I know I did. This is Dr. Stephen Kirch of Profit Minds. And make sure you catch us again next time on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, more. And of course, I'd appreciate a good review on any of those platforms. Thanks again for joining us.